You can love God, love someone deeply, and still be in a painful relationship. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Dr. Jane and I'm a counselor. On this channel, we talk about emotional healing, relationships, attachments, and faith in ways that are honest, compassionate, and grounded in real life. This is a space for people who love God and are also trying to make sense of their emotions, relationships, and experiences. Today we are talking about something that feels quite uncomfortable but very necessary. Why love is not enough. Now, Valentine's Day was just a few days ago, and during seasons like that, love is often celebrated as the solution to everything. But many people walked away from Valentine's still feeling confused, lonely, or even emotionally tired, even though love exists in their relationship. And because I'm a Christian counselor, we are not just going to talk about psychology or attachment. We are also going to talk about God's role in relationships and what we often misunderstand about love. Okay, now many of us grew up believing that if two people love each other, especially if they are Christians, then everything else will fall into place. We were told, just love each other, pray together, and God will handle the rest. But here's the painful reality. Many people loved deeply, prayed sincerely, involved God, and still experience emotional neglect, repeated conflicts, loneliness inside the relationship, or even emotional harm. So the question becomes, if love is present and God is present, why is the relationship still painful? Love is powerful, but love is not the same thing as attachment. Now, love for most people is often about feeling, even though it's much more, and attachment is about safety. Attachment answers questions like, am I emotionally safe with you? Can I express my needs without fear? Will you show up consistently for me? And what happens when we disagree? Two people can love God and love each other and still have insecure attachment patterns that clash. You might see a couple that pray together, attends church, serves together, but at home, one partner feels unheard, dismissed, or emotionally alone. The relationship looks good on the outside, like very spiritual, but emotionally unsafe on the inside. In other situations, one may fear abandonment and need constant reassurance, while the other shuts down emotionally and avoids difficult conversations. Both of them may say, but I love you, but I fear God, but I'm trying. Yet the emotional pain continues, not because love is absent, but because attachment wounds are unaddressed. Now, here is something we don't talk about often enough in Christian spaces. God does not replace emotional maturity. God does not bypass poor communication, unhealed trauma, emotional immaturity, or even unhealthy coping patterns. Faith does not cancel responsibility. Now, scripture tells us that love is patient, kind, and not self-seeking. We know the rest. But patience, kindness, and selflessness are skills we must practice, not feelings we simply declare. Sometimes God is unintentionally used to silence emotional needs. I hear statements like, just pray about it, God hates divorce, so endure, you are being too emotional, focus on God, not your feelings. And oftentimes these statements come from fear, not cruelty. But God created emotions. God values truth, and God is not glorified by our emotional suffering or when it is ignored or spiritualized. God designed relationships to reflect safety, mutual care, responsibility, and growth. Now, love in God's design is not just affection, it is intentional emotional stewardship. Now, this means learning how to listen, learning how to repair conflicts, learning how to regulate emotions, and learning how to love in ways that heal rather than harm. Now, here's the simple truth. You can love God, love someone, and still need help. Needing counseling does not mean you lack faith. It means you are willing to grow. prayer and therapy are not enemies. Grace and responsibility actually work together. So I want you to gently ask yourself these questions. Do I feel emotionally safe in my relationship? Can we have difficult conversations without fear? Are we growing or just enduring? Am I trusting God and also avoiding necessary work to make my relationship beautiful? You can pause here if you need more time to reflect on these questions. Love is beautiful and God is central. But love alone, without emotional safety, maturity, and responsibility, is not enough. The good news is attachment can be healed, skills can be learned, relationships can grow healthier. And God works with us in the process. He never leaves us alone. Thank you so much for being here today. This is a safe space for honest conversations about faith, healing, and relationships. And if this conversation resonated with you, feel free to subscribe and join me here as we continue exploring emotional healing, relationships, and faith, one honest conversation at a time.